Okay, good afternoon to the adjudicators and debaters. Before we start our debate today, this is a gentle reminder. Please mute your microphone when you are not presenting. Thank you. Welcome to Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Dr. Abdul Rahman Arshad Challenge Trophy English Language Debate Competition 2022. The motion for today is this House would require partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores. Acting as the government team for this debate is the team from Seri, with Mr. Muhammad Daniel bin Zaidi as the first speaker, Ms. Azurin binti Roslan as the second speaker, Mr. Muhammad Ezran bin Rizwan as the third speaker, and the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Azurin binti Roslan. While acting as the opposition team for this debate is the team from Kota Star, with Ms. Stephanie Chi Huijia as the first speaker, Ms. Darin Adani binti Muhammad Anas as the second speaker, and Ms. Priyanka Bernardine Cameron as the third speaker. And the reply speech will be delivered by Ms. Stephanie Chi Huijia. There are 3 adjudicators who will adjudicate this competition. There are Mr. Suresh Baskaran as the chief judge, and he will be assisted by Mrs. Tan Shi Min, and last but not the least, Mrs. Nur Hanisah Mat Hassin. Now I would like to read out some of the rules of this debate. For the substantive speech, each debater is given 8 minutes to deliver his or her speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once after the first minutes to show the points of information P or I can be delivered. The timekeeper will then ring the bell once again at the end of the 7th minute to show that the time for P or I is over. At the end of the 8th minute, the bell will be rung twice to indicate that the time allocated is over. A minimum time of 3 minutes will be given to both teams to prepare for the reply speech. The timekeeper will ring the bell once to show the start of the preparation time, and the bell will be rung twice after 3 minutes to show that the time to prepare for the reply speech has ended. For reply speech, the timekeeper will ring the bell once at the 3rd minute to signal that the debater has 1 minute left. At the end of the 4th minute, the bell will be rung twice to signal the end of the debate. Now, we shall begin our debate today. To open the case from the government team, please welcome the first speaker of the government team, Mr. Muhammad Daniel bin Zaidi. Please welcome.
Can you hear me clearly? Welcome to the side of the House, the government. The motion for debate today is, this House believes that requires partners to pay their husband or wife for household chores. Now, we today as the government strongly believe that is accurate. But before we come to our actual argumentation, let us first define some important terms in this debate. According to Oxford Dictionary, marriage means a legally accepted relationship between a woman and a man in which they live as husband and wife. First of all, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening, and thank you to the virtual room master, vice judges, cautious timekeeper, worthy opponents, my lawyer comrades, and everyone in this majestic parliament. We, as today's the government has structured our case. My name is Muhammad Daniel bin Zaidi. As Prime Minister will deliver the first argument. My Deputy Prime Minister Azram binti Roslan will rebutting the first speaker of the opposition argument and followed by a government's next argument. Lastly, my Prime Minister Whip Muhammad Azram bin Rizwan will do the rebuttal for the opposition's argument and rebutting our motion for today. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I strongly agree with the motion because this can help to contribute to any of the marriage couple that stumble upon the unexpected expenses, such as accidents. When the partner is far away for work, there might be a chance that they will get into an accident. The money that they receive from their partners can be used to repair the damages mentally and physically. Other than that, they can pay their hospital bills in case their kids are under the weather. As we all know, kids are fragile. These kids are usually running around and they can stumble to the ground and might be injured themselves.
Few items.
No, thank you. They may break their leg. This was totally unexpected. Ladies and gentlemen, with the money that they receive from their partner, they can fulfill their wants. They could afford anything. Example, bags, phone, clothes, and car. They can also use the money for self-reward if they are stressed, like going for staycation or vacation. Member of the force.
QI, sir.
No, thank you. This married couple need to take care of their old one. With the money that they receive, they can buy their parents needed, example, diapers, and formula milk for the old one. As we all know, that nowadays expenses are too expensive. As we all do know that most of old folk are not working anymore and their pension are not enough to buy everything that they need.
QI,
We
sir.
all know that, no thank you. We all know that old people live in old house. This house need to be constantly repaired. With the help of the money, they can help to do the maintenance. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for speaker. The time is 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay then, to start the case from the opposition team, please welcome the first speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Stephanie Chi Huija. Please welcome.
A very good day I wish to the honorable judges, accurate timekeeper, my respected set of government and fellow members of the floor. The motion set forth today is the House would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. I will now move on to definitions. Said opposition would like to define the motion in a more detailed manner. All our definitions are taken from the Oxford Dictionary. We define require as regard a particular thing as necessary or compulsory. Partner is the person that you are married to or live with as if you are married. Pay means money that you get regularly for work that you have done. And household chores is a responsibility all the people who live in one house must do. Now, let me present to you our platform for today's debate. Marriage is unity. When two people sign up to get married, they are now tied onto the same string, a family. Ladies and gentlemen, to give yourself completely to another, guard down to be laid bare without any armor, would mean you are undeniably in love and trust that person wholeheartedly. Love and to be in love is both the strongest emotion a human could have and a risk we must be willing to take. If we ever hope to have a partner for life, then the government wants to completely disregard the honor and love that brings marriage together by offering payments. It is care of the house in which you and your partner inhabit. It's something to wave with pride. It shows that the relationship is strong, the love is ever burning, and that you made the right choice. So please said government, do not pour water over the fire. Do not insult the love and passion that makes a marriage a united and a permanent status. And with that, I proudly present to you said opposition's parameter for today's motion. We, the opposition, would like to clarify that living expenses are not the same as payment or a salary. We believe it would not be fair for any sides of the relationship. If one were to get paid for taking care of the house they both inhabit, when it is just a responsibility that one must be done on a daily basis. Now, allow me to present to you our very first point for today's motion. Household chores is not a job, but a responsibility. Getting paid to do something you should have done on your own will is a messed up situation. Why would someone commit to a relationship if they are not ready for the responsibilities that comes with it? Doing household chores is part of a person's lifestyle, a responsibility that they have to fulfill as an individual. Let's make it as simple as we possibly can for side government. Let's say you're living all on your own. You have to carry out your responsibilities, and that includes doing household chores without getting paid. You wouldn't pay yourself for doing household chores, would you? Why would it be any different just because you're now committed to a relationship? If it's necessary to pay your partner for fulfilling their responsibility, then there will be a lot more things you need to pay your partner for doing. Set a position stands by the fact that we do not want partners to treat their other half like an employee. Your other half is doing their part in a relationship, and yet you're treating them like a maid. Imagine someone trying their very best to keep a house squeaky clean. Their partner comes home and casually pays them. Is this the
PI,
acknowledgement they would want? Yes, sir.
when you say they treat their partners like a maid, like another worker, how about when your parents ask you to do some chores and they give you money for the hard work? Is it count as a work? Is it count as a pay? Is it count as like a maid, like a worker, like an employer to you? Thank you.
As a child, do you know what is the difference between a child and a partner? A child is someone you have to take care of. It's your role to take care of them, and it's your role to motivate them to do what they have to do. And when parents reward their child for doing household chores, it is a sort of education. They're letting their child know that this is their responsibility. Will your parents pay you for doing your chores until you're 30 years old? Is that what your parents do? Is that what your partner is supposed to do? Let me continue my speech. This reward is no different from paying a maid when she's done with her job. Let me make this clear for all the members of the floor. What exactly is the difference between a job and a responsibility? A job is the work you do regularly to earn money. The work you specifically do to earn a living to sustain your life, while a responsibility is a task which you are required to do as a part of a role. Partners should mutually agree on their own responsibilities and roles in a relationship and in a marriage. If I'm the breadwinner, my partner would have to carry out their own roles as well. It's how you sustain a relationship. It's how you ensure a relationship is healthy. It's how you support your other half, not by treating them like an employee or maybe a bit better, a business partner. Let us not forget the fact that said government has also failed to provide us with a stand and a mechanism. So it is completely okay for said opposition to disregard their entire case since they don't have a center to revolve their case around. And with that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Getting first speaker from the opposition. The time is 6 minutes. To continue our debate today, we invite the second speaker of the government team, Ms. Azuri binti Roslan. Please welcome.
Hello, can you hear me clearly? Hello? Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Thank you to the virtual room master, wise judges, cautious timekeeper, worthy opponents, my loyal comrades, and everyone in this majestic parliament. My name is Azrin binti Roslan. As the Deputy Prime Minister of the government, I'll be rebutting the first speakers of the opposition's argument and followed by government's next arguments. But before I come to my own arguments, let us first have a look at what the first opposition speaker has said. I'll continue our case in a minute, but before that, there are some things about the first opposition speaker's argument that need to be addressed. The first opposition has told us that marriage is about love. On the contrary, love don't feed you. Love don't give you your needs. Love don't pay your meals. You don't pay your meals with your so-called love, right? She also mentioned that love is a feeling. Well, if you love your partners, would you question about the money that you are giving to your own partners? Okay. Now,
QI man.
no, thank you. So now, let me get to our next argument. Every day, while we're scrolling through social media, flipping through papers and magazines, we can see that there are new cases or issues about divorcee or widow who was left by their partner alive or dead. They don't have enough money to support
QI man.
themselves. And next, starving, poverty, and even other cases. No, thank you. This is important if their household have a problem or probably ended up with a divorce or one of them are being left. When they divorce, at least they're going to have money to stand by their life after their divorce. or their partner does. As we all know, mostly the one who do the chores is the one who don't work. We are living in the 21st century where it's hard to find a job because of the competition that keep on increasing. Mostly the one who do the chores is the one who don't work. So I want to ask you all something to make us all rethinking of this motion. If somehow,
Yo,
but
I, ma'am.
eventually, your partner will left you either alive or dead, what will happen to the unfortunate one? No, thank you. Being left with nothing on their plate, how will they survive in this cruel world? Well, at least with the money they get paid by doing the chores, they at least can survive while looking for a job after being left. Sometimes they don't get a job that available because they don't fit the requirement that was set for the particular job. In addition, they won't get the job in a short period of
Yo, I,
time.
ma'am.
As my Prime Minister said before, no, thank you. As my Prime Minister said before, expenses nowadays are very expensive, and how are you going to afford it without money? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are about to mention about insurance, well, let me tell you a thing. If you pay enough attention during math class, chapter 3, we learn about insurance. As we all know, insurance does not cover 100% of the damage and loss. Even if they receive the money, they will feel reluctant because
Yo, I, ma'am.
it was their deceased partners. No, thank you. This is the reasons why most of partners do not want their partners to take life insurance. Plus, insurance don't give you much. Members of the floor, with this, I urge the Parliament to agree and support our motion today. The House would
Yo,
require
ma'am.
partners to pay their husband and wife for household chores. This is because, no, thank you. This is because if their household have a problem or probably ended up with a divorce or one of them being left, at least they can survive in this cruel world. With that, thank you.
All right, thank you. Second speaker from the government team. The time is 4 minutes and 90 seconds. Okay, the debate will continue with the speech from the second speaker of the opposition team. Please welcome Ms. Darin Adani binti Muhammad Anas.
A very good day to the chairperson, timekeeper, adjudicators, fellow comrades, opponents, and members of the floor. I am the second speaker of the opposition for today, and my job here is to rebut side opposition flaws while introducing another 2 points. Before stating my points, the side government have to state the mechanism which they failed to do. So let me remind you our key slide for today, which is we, as the opposition, believe that household chores are not a form of payment or salary. So let me start with my rebuttal. They have mentioned that this can help contribute to marriage couple who stumble to an accident. How? Are you saying that paying hospital bills related to the motion for today? Didn't they have enough money to support themselves? Why would you do chores to even earn money? Partner wasn't supposed to ignore the responsibility and hand it to the another person and pay for it. Yes, money can do a lot of things when you don't have money, but what is the lack of money have to do with the motion for today, my side government? They
Yeah,
also
please.
have mentioned that they will have money when they divorce later. Yes.
When you say about
Okay, go.
money being used at the hospital, I'm pretty sure that my first speaker said that when the breadwinner is away, and does the housewife and the house person who doesn't have the money will use that said money that has been given to on those medical bills. Thank you.
My dear government, if you're a little bit patient, you can hear my argument and I'll be answering your POI from now. So to answer your POI, how much money you earn from doing the chores will support you. What does poverty and insurance have to do with this motion anyway? So let me continue. Why would you depend on life insurance for living? This clearly shows that the side government is not understanding the motion for today. Now, enough in my rebuttal. Let me move on to our second point, which is relationship is a two-way thing. We marry a person because we're ready to commit to the relationship. They feel the need to help each other with any difficulties. Well, at least they need to. But in this case, the person who feels the need to pay the partner for doing the chores, they just don't have a sense of responsibility at all. They pay their partner because they don't feel the need to do chores because they already have paid their partner to do the chores. And the partner will feel like they've been used as a tool instead of being their lover. This is clearly an unhealthy commitment to relationship. Let's imagine, would you feel content doing a work your partner is supposed to do in trade for a bare few dollars? Ladies and gentlemen, it's your partner's responsibility and they failed to do so. And instead they pay you for your reward or so-called reward. The person who is paying doesn't have a sense of commitment and feeling of responsibility and instead will feel superior because they are the one paying the partner. Yes, my dear government.
Say that the person who pays the working house person are not commitment, but when you're a kid, let's say when you do something and parents give you a token of appreciation, such as candy or toys, but in this case, an adult, what they need the most as an adult, money. So that money is being given to those who do the work as an appreciation, not a
My
salary.
dear government, okay, let me answer your POI. We are not talking about kids. We are talking about a married couple here. And how does that little money will provide them with a sense of benefit? Can you understand the motion for today, my dear government? So the person we're paying doesn't have a sense of commitment because they don't feel the need to do the chores. So let me continue with my points. Later or not, the partner who gets paid will feel inferior and will feel damaged their mental health because they will view the chores that we're supposed to do together as a marriage couple, as a committed marriage couple to do together as their own responsibility and not a both responsibility. This is clearly not a healthy relationship at all. Either way, whether you are a married or single individual, you must have a sense of discipline, members of the floor. Therefore, doing household chores is something everybody must do. So why are you even paying your partner to do the bare minimum, which leads to my third point, which is they shouldn't be rewarded for the bare minimum. My third point, I repeat, my third point is they shouldn't be rewarded for the bare minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, the house is trying to convey to us that we are basically rewarding our partners for chores. This is ridiculous in many ways because it is quite literally the bare minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, doing chores is the responsibility for both sides, as I already mentioned before. It's even mandatory for individuals to do so. So why is it that we have to do literally pay our loved one for something that we have already known how to do all this time? So let me ask you, didn't you know how to wash clothes or didn't you know how to wash dishes? So why would we pay our partner to do that? I cannot understand that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the bare minimum in any relationship, and everybody should adopt this type of behavior. This behavior just promotes anyone being rewarded for doing something so normal. In a world where we have to learn to do things kind-heartedly and wholeheartedly, this just irritates that the needs for this concept become a relationship. Your action dictate your love to the partner. So if you're paying them for just these basic necessities, this will then there is no purpose in marriage, as they make them out to be a maid. One of the 5 love language is act of service. So doing household chores would be seen as a love language in a way of showing love. If you were to pay your partner for doing these chores, it's an insult, not to only how they show love, but an insult to love itself. We, the opposition, believe and respect in all ways and showing of love. To take it away as the government would do limits people, cages people from spreading their wings and loving to be free. Ladies and gentlemen, making a maid of your partner is embarrassing and completely contradicts the concept of love and marriage. What is the point of making someone a basically business partner when it has to be something way deeper? Even then, they're just doing the fundamentals of everyone's life in which both parties need to do to that. I have to pay my partner to wash dishes or even water plants. Why is this what side government is focusing on? The wrong thing, even as doing the bare minimum, is not a medium of making profit, but having a good sustainable life. We, the opposition, believe household chores are not a form of payment or salary, whereas it's a responsibility and a form of love. With that, I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Second speaker from the opposition team. The time is 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, and honorable adjudicators, let's hear from the third speaker of the government team, Mr. Muhammad Ezran bin Rizwan. Please welcome.
My test, is it working? I'll take that as yes. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the honorable virtual master, cautious timekeeper, worthy opponents, my loyal comrades, and most importantly, a warm welcome for everybody in this majestic parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Muhammad Ezran bin Rizwan and act as a Prime Minister whip. Sitting here in front of you today, I will execute my duties, which are to rebut some of the points that have been given by the opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, on the last argument, they said something about they shouldn't reward their partners with bare minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of a weak argument that have been thrown, because actually household work, and I did bet my life on this, and that is not an easy work. Have you seen your parents managing your life when you was a child? Yes, I'm taking you as a child, because when you was a child, if you observe and you look at your parents, they're actually sweating, they're actually in pain but doing all those chores. And you are saying that they should
Your
be paid
answer.
for bare minimum? No, thank you. And also, most of breadwinners nowadays are busy with their hard work. They sometimes even come home late at night, or doesn't even come home at all. And who are going to take care of the house, take care of the children, take care of the needs? Of course, only the partners that stay at home with. And unfortunately, like my prime minister said, there are sometimes they are not even working. And where are they going to find the money to support if their partners, if the breadwinners are away?
PY, sir.
Thank you. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, we're discussing this motion because we care about our people's well-being, especially those who are unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, the argument that have been thrown by the opposition side are based on love and trust and theory in their heart. Actually, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a fantasy world or a drama that you see on television shows that start at 7 p.m. every week. This
You
is
are,
real
sir.
life, and real life isn't kind as you think. Thank you. Opposition belief is based on love and commitment. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, food that you eat, clothes that you wear, you don't buy them with love. You buy them with money. And unfortunately, although I may sound like a gold digger, but we need money to alive.
Your eyes,
So-
sir.
so sorry. No,
I
thank
say,
you.
why are you discarding love at this point?
I'm not. Thank you for the PI. I'm not actually discarding love, but I'll get to my next argument. Actually, when we're giving money to our partners that do the work, it's actually a token of appreciation. Like when I said earlier, that when you was a kid, when you're doing chores for your mother, or when your mom forced you to do chores, and then she reward you for it, like cooking your best meal, giving you time to play your games, or something even give you extra pocket money for school. This is for the kids. And for the adults, the married couple, we need to level it up a bit. And then
You are,
we
sir.
need to give them what they need the most, money. No, thank you. Also, I want to mention about I want to point about that. They say that paying money to their partners is like a salary. It's not a salary, and I'm very affected on this because I was in the same place once. It's not a salary. It's more like a token of appreciation to their partners.
You are, sir.
And I want to, no, thank you. Let me finish my point. I want to tell you this. What if you do something very hard, very tiring, very stressful, and your partner just say, I love you? What will you feel? You will feel, okay, I love you, babe. This is not okay. This is some kind of mental stress. And this
You are,
will
sir.
affect, and ended up with divorce. Thank you. And when we give them money, they actually feel a little bit appreciated because they know that their hard work actually worth some money. And don't even think that the money that give is a little. When you say about love, do you give your partners a little bit money like 10 ringgit, 50 ringgit? When you say about love, you need to give them more, maybe 100, maybe 200. It's all about the love that you said.
You are, sir.
Yes, my point. Thank you.
If you appreciate your partner, you are supposed to play your role in the relationship, not throw money at them. Thank you.
Like I said earlier, they said that they don't have time. They are busy. They are breadwinners. They're making the money. How are you supposed to make the money if you give their time to the partners? It may sound irrational, but this is real life and not a drama. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, third speaker for the government team. The time is 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Well, ladies and gentlemen, honorable adjudicators, this is the third speaker of the opposition team, Ms. Priyanka Bernardine Cameron. Please welcome.
Am I audible?
Okay. A very good morning to the Honorable Madam Speaker, trusted judges, our respected and most wonderful opponents, and the members of the House. First off, I would like to restate our motion for today as I seem that the government side did not really understand our motion for today. This House would require partners to pay their husbands or wives for household chores. As you can see from the motion, this is a this House would motion, which means we need a mechanism to even start this debate. And if since the government didn't fail to mention their mechanism, I'm sorry, but I don't think we can even accept any of your points since there is no mechanism at all. But either way, I shall start with talking about the POI stated by the side government. First of all, the third speaker from side government started by saying, is telling your child to do their chores the same thing as what we are doing now? Let me tell you something. As my second speaker had already stated, you don't pay your child to do chores, do you? It is a responsibility, and I think everybody here knows that it is a responsibility that we take on.
Your eye,
Not
please.
just yes,
When I say, I never say about paying. I say about giving them, rewarding them, giving them token of appreciation, not paying. I think you misunderstand me.
yes. Thank you, side government, for agreeing with us because the motion itself states to pay, not to reward. So I'm not sure what motion you are debating on, but we are debating about paying, not rewarding. As I was continuing my response to your POI earlier, you stated that children do their chores and we reward them with lollipops or maybe toys and stuff like that. Do you think that throwing money at your partner is the same as that? It is not. And also, you don't pay your child or you don't reward your child for doing the bare minimum. You make sure
Right,
they
please?
need not. Yes.
When you say throwing money at someone, does it
Mhm.
implies direction when you ask someone for your help and you're giving the money for that? Don't you just throw at it like you're implying on this subject?
Yes, I will actually respond to that by something that you had mentioned already in your speech earlier, where my third speaker wanted to ask you a POI, but you refused to accept. Where if you appreciate them, you are doing as much as you can already. If you are already so busy and that you say that they cannot do much, don't commit to a marriage if you cannot even give your own partner just a bit of attention or a bit of appreciation. I think that itself is good enough to answer your POI. Now, you also mentioned another POI where you're saying we are paying when we are paying our partners when the breadwinner is away, it can help us. First of all, I'm not sure how you think money can be transferred, but you do know that there are banks these days, right? So if the breadwinner is away, you can bank in money either way. But I still don't know how that POI is even going to help your side. Now that I'm done responding to your POIs, I shall start with rebutting the speech from the first speaker. Like I already mentioned just now, the first speaker failed to mention the mechanism for today, and we are doing a this house would motion. So I'm sorry, but we cannot accept any of your points made today because you did not state your mechanism. We ourselves could not even properly state our arguments due to the fact that you did not state it. But also, you mentioned that we are not talk you mentioned that we have accidents that we go through and we need to do this, but we are not talking about the lack of money here. I'm not sure why you think saving up the money and paying your partner is going to help your marriage in any way. And we are talking about the partners doing household chores. You are saying that we are doing the partners are doing household chores for money. You are initiating that, and I must say, do you actually think that household chores is a job that we must do for money? This is not a job. This is a responsibility that we have, not even as a married let me finish, not even as a married couple, but even as an individual. Discipline itself tells you you need to do your own household chores. Are you supposed to live in a dump? Yes.
I believe that my first speaker never mentioned about doing chores for money. They said about giving money, paying them with money as a way to save up for, like I said, save up for a rainy day. Thank you.
Yes. So you see, for one, you are saying that you are saving money, yes, for accidents, but doesn't that contradict you yourself? You are saying to pay your partner. So that's losing money from yourself, isn't it? And also, when you say that you are doing paying money for doing household chores, isn't that the same thing as what you're implementing? You're just turning the sentence around. That is the exact same thing that you're saying. I'm not sure how that POI even helps you. Now, I would like to go on to state my rebuttals for the second speaker. The second speaker mentioned that love is just an emotion, but it doesn't it doesn't help you, it doesn't feed you, it doesn't keep you alive. Are you trying to say that love is not important in a marriage? Are you trying to say that in a marriage, money is the most important thing there? Because from what the second speaker said, that seemed like the most important thing to you, just the money. Isn't love the most important thing? Are you anything that is a you sign a contract when you get married, yes, but if you are signing a contract of marriage without any love involved, is that even considered a marriage anymore? Isn't that now just a business contract just for accepting money? Now, you say we should give money to our partners because the world is getting harder to get jobs as well. So you're also stating that it should be given as an allowance, yes? So when you say that we are doing these jobs, you are saying that we are doing it, and when you give the money, you are not rewarding it. Like I said, the motion for today is paying. Paying also means not a reward. This isn't a reward. We are not trying to give anybody a gift here. We are paying them as if it's a salary. So you yourself are stating that it's an allowance. So are you agreeing with yourself or not? Also, now I would like to go on to my rebuttals of the third speaker. You said that we are unfortunate if our partners do not want to give us money for doing our household chores. Are you trying to say that partners who actually don't give money to their partners are just like that means they are doing this as a you are literally stating that this is a job, this is something that you need to do for a salary, and we are unfortunate for our partners loving us? Like, is all you really care about money, dear government? And now you also, as my second speaker had asked a POI earlier, why are you discarding love? This is one of the biggest things that the government failed to actually answer. You are discarding love from the whole point of marriage is love, not for money or for who can do more household chores. And if you, like I said earlier, responding to your POI, you appreciate them, you don't give them money. Appreciation is already one of the biggest things. And I think as the dear government does not realize this, it is something that is very, very important in a marriage. If you do not appreciate your partner, that marriage is falling apart, and I can tell you that. Now, finally, as I come to the end of my case, I would like to restate our burden of proof for today, which is that we, as the opposition, believe that household chores are not a form of payment or salary, whereas it's a responsibility and a form of love. I've come to the end of my case. Thank you.
Right, thank you. The speaker of the opposition team, the time is 7 minutes and 43 seconds. We have heard the argument from both teams, and now the debaters are given 3 minutes to prepare their reply speech. Now, to wrap up our debate today, here is the reply speech from the opposition team. Hello? Hello? Okay. Here is the reply speech from the opposition team, which will be delivered by Miss Stephanie Chi Huijia. Please welcome.
A very good day to the honorable judges and fellow members of the floor. I, as the first speaker, will be delivering a reply speech for the opposition side. First off, let me start by stating the biggest clash in our debate today. Said government doesn't seem to understand the difference between living expenses and paying your other half for the bare minimum, while said opposition has taken both the responsibilities of each partner and ways to sustain a relationship into account. Next, I shall continue with stating all the arguments made by my opposition side and strengthening our arguments. Our first point is household chore is not a job but a responsibility. Let me repeat the difference between a job and a responsibility. A job is the work you do regularly to earn money, while a responsibility is a task which you are required to do as part of a role. Partners should mutually agree on their own responsibilities and roles in a relationship, especially a marriage. It's how you sustain a relationship, not by treating them like an employee, or maybe a bit better, a business partner. Our second argument is that a marriage is a two-way thing. If you think you're playing a role by paying your partner for doing household chores, you are merely being ignorant towards the fact that a relationship requires both parties to sustain it. Our third argument is they shouldn't be rewarded for the bare minimum. Appreciation is shown when your partner plays their role in a relationship, and reward is given when somebody accomplishes something. You don't pay your partner for carrying out your responsibilities. One of the main statements that we believe in is that we, as the opposition, believe that household chores are not a form of payment or salary, whereas it's a responsibility and a form of love. Now, I shall point out the several flaws in the government's case today as to show you that there were several things to be addressed. First of all, poverty is the main argument of side government. They're implying that it's why a partner should pay their other half to feed them, to provide them with the money. Said opposition is implying that just because a person is struggling financially, they should get money from their partner. They should depend on their partner. Second of all, said government can't seem to differentiate life expenses and paying your partner. It is not an allowance. It is not a reward. It's paying them. It's a salary. You're expecting them to work on your behalf, and then you give them money to apparently show your appreciation instead of showing love. It's what your partner needs, not money. Allow me to also remind the members of the floor that said government has failed to provide any stand, any mechanism, and any rebuttal to counter our arguments. And please don't disregard the fact that said government has rejected almost every POI that said opposition has given to them. As I come to the end of my reply speech, I would love to state our case for today for the final time. We, as the opposition, believe that household chores are not a form of payment or salary, whereas it is a responsibility and a form of love. Till the very end of the debate, our burden of proof still stands, and this is why side opposition should win the debate. And with that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Right, thank you. The time is 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Right. So last but not least, here is the reply speech from the government team, which will be given by Miss Azurin binti Roslan. Please welcome.
Hello, can you hear me clearly? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are finally at the climax of today's debate. Before we begin, we as the government team wanted to say that we are incredibly honored to be given a chance to have a stand here and present our argument about today's motion. A million thank you to the Honorable Virtual Room Master, wise judges, cautious timekeeper, passionate opponents from the opposition, and a special mention to ladies and gentlemen in this grand parliament. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you have been waiting for. First of all, let me state the flaws of the argument from the opposition. They said that you paid your partners as a salary, but as my third speaker said in his POI, it as a sign of appreciation. Even a husband or a housewife want to feel how is it to earn their own money. But at least if they are getting paid, they don't really feel bad. You also did say that paying their partners is just means you don't want to do their part of responsibility or commitment. Well, as my Prime Minister said before, they might be away and not being there since they are busy with work. By paying them, this is their way of doing their part of responsibility and commitment. Since the opposition keep on saying that about responsible, then paying your partner is your responsibility since you can't commit you're responsible physically. We are not living in those drama that on television that start at 7 p.m. every day on TV3. Do you think this is Pujaan Hati Kanda drama? They are basically living in their fantasy world. Love don't put food on table. We cannot buy our needs using love. We will now present our reply speech regarding our today's debate motion. This house would require a partner to pay their husband or wife for household chores. As my Prime Minister said before, they can use the money that they get from their partner to help their old folks. This, for me, you can think it logically. Sometimes we don't want to use our partner's money just to take care of our old folks, of our old parents. We want to use our own money. Ladies and gentlemen, from their perspective, the government team are trying to clarify the negative impacts of paying your partners for house chores. But some of their points are worth listening with one ear. How can, ladies and gentlemen, we have to come to a solid end where we as the government team undoubtedly propose this motion where this house would require partners to pay their husbands or wife for household chores. With that, thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, speakers, for reply speech from the government team. Well, that's all for our debate today. We would like to thank the honorable adjudicators and debaters for your presence today. The result for the debate competition will be announced shortly, so please wait. All right, debaters, we have the result already. So the winning team for this third round debates belong to Team Kota Seta, the opposition team. Right, congratulations. And the best speaker for the third round of debates, Miss Priyanka Bernardine Cameron, also from Kota Seta. Congratulations. Right, with that, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. You guys did an amazing job.
That's great.